going on through your head with all of this that was going on at the time? How were you processing all of this?
I was processing it now because, I had the opportunity to go to college. I didn't do it. And I was saying to myself, what am I going to do with my life? Because originally, like I said, I thought I was going to make $1 million in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And so here I am now, like, what I'm going to do? Even though I graduated from high school, I just didn't know what I was going to do.
Okay.
Couldn't do the things that I was able to do, walk and run. And,
Sure.
Brand new to an injury, and it was just like, wow.
And to add insult to the injury, you ended up behind bars.
Yes.
What was that about?
So from Northwestern Hospital, I went to the Cook County Hospital, which is now John Stroger. And I stayed there for about a week in recovery. And from the Cook County Hospital, I went to the Cook County Jail. And I stayed 2.5 years and 2 weeks fighting a case, that I ain't even had no business being in. And from the Cook County Jail, I went to Dixon Correctional Facility, where I spent 10 years, a remainder of 10-year sentence, and got out in 1999, and I literally kissed the ground when I got out.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure.
And told myself that I just couldn't live a destructive lifestyle anymore. 6 months later, I registered myself into a community college, Olive Harvey, and that's where the ball kind of just started rolling for me. I got around positive people. They was encouraging me. My professors. I just learned a lot. Going through that process of the college life.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy that you were able to overcome everything that has happened to you, that you got the light went off in your head. The light said, hey, let's do this, let's make it happen. The past is the past, and now we're living in the future. And so you turn this entire dynamics around. Let me ask you this. With all of the things that are going on out here in the streets, and we're talking about, again, 2016, and just, we're hearing, a 6-year-old young lady got shot today just sitting on the porch playing, and, just a young innocent girl. I understand a police officer in Kansas City was killed today, trying to, what is still the problem in 2016, in your opinion, of us in these streets?
I would say, and I know that your listeners and probably come hard on me, but I would say the lack of parenting. Yes.
Joseph.
The lack of parenting.
Joseph. That was said last night, brother. I'm telling you. But now, come on, Marcus. You said you came from good grandma and grandpa. You came from that single mama. They tried their best. You said that life was, pretty decent, normal. I got you. We kind of both co-signed the same life. But how would the parenting thing play a part in that, and you made that decision?
Because what I did mention was that I do have 4 children.
Oh, okay.
And when 3 girls, 1 boy, and I love them all dearly, even my grandchildren.
Okay.
But when I was away for about 7.5 years in total of their time out of their lives,
right,
and then coming back and trying to reestablish myself in their lives.
Okay.
I see that it's difficult.
Okay.
By the parents not being around,
right,
giving that support,
that
giving that love, giving that stern,
right,
giving that discipline.
Okay.
It's huge. It's huge, especially in our young men today.
And Joseph, that's how that all kind of ended last night when I did go to conclude that conversation with our guest last night. Really, a lot of people in this day and age, and I get that, Joseph, you and I were raised the same way, to be kind and courteous and try to make the right decisions. But we live in a world now where, if your mama is ignorant, 9 times out of 10, you finna be ignorant. And so that's kind of I get that, and that's why a lot of these people are saying it's a parenting thing if we look at the issues nowadays. And I think a lot of educators would say that. I think a lot of police officers would say that. I think even, you know, a couple politicians would say that. But, you know, it's all a money game as well, too. Keep us downtrodden, keep us ignorant, keep us killing each other, and that's a racket, too. But you know, I kind of would have to, I get that now that more and more people are seeing it as a parenting thing. You see what I'm saying? Because Josie, you and I came from good parents. We, you know what I'm saying? And we always have to say that my mama wouldn't co-sign this. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's because we. Right. Right. Right.
I am telling them to first find their purpose in life. I am telling them to love themselves. I am telling them to love their family, you know, and educate themselves. You know, stay in school, you know, because I see, you know, without the basic structure, you know, just to give you an example, when I was up at Kennedy King just the other day, last Thursday, going to speak to some young people there, and I was amazed that a guy that was 14 years old, one of the counselors there was, you know, asking him to sign in, and he didn't put the time in, and the counselor asked him, he was like, man, you know, put the time in. He was like, he didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the counselor said, you know, well, you don't know how to tell time? The guy was 14 years old and didn't even know how to tell time.
Well, no. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's just,
right.
You know,
Marcus, that community center where you've come many times to speak, my biggest lesson there was to teach how to address an envelope. My biggest lesson there was to teach these young people how to fill out a check or a money order. You know, you have to realize we live in a society now that everything is done on a smartphone or tablet. Why would you have to learn how to write? Why would you have to learn how to read? Why would you? And that's what the problem is. Yeah, no, he didn't know how to tell time and know how to write that down. And it's so many ignoramus savants around here that it's not even funny. And that's no disrespect, but we do. We have a lot of people that are brilliant, but they're just as ignorant as they want to be because they don't know any better. So, you know, and keep preaching that word to them of getting better.
But education is just so important to our young people, and they need to understand that to grow, you know, because like I mentioned, you know, that's what I knew back in the day after I got shot, knowing that I couldn't make $1 million in the street. I went back to education. Mm-hmm. I got back and I registered myself back into a community college. Mm-hmm. So education, I just try to stay on that and just love yourself.
Love yourself.
Find your purpose.
Absolutely. Let's go to the live line and talk to Al real quick in the South Suburbs. Good evening, Alan. Welcome to the show. How are you?
But before that, you know, I just want to give my condolences out to the Sterling family, the Castile family, the Trayvon, the Chandra Bland, the Freddie Gray. You know, even back in the days when we go back with the Darion Albert, you know, with the black on black and the little kid that got killed execution style and the Blair Holt. You know, so I definitely
so many families, so many just
so many
crazy
families.
Tragedies, all that.
You
right.
know, the 16 shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just it's serious out here, and we need to stop playing games. You know, with our lives, with our children's lives, and come and be true and tell the real story to our children.
Right.
You know, we try to redirect that story and make it, you know, and pretty it up.
Right.
You know, but we got to give them the real. You know, and because they feel it, they see it.
Right.
You know, so I definitely, you know, pray just to every black community out there, you know, black families, you know, Black Lives Do Matter. You know, you can catch me, you can catch me on Twitter at I Have a Story to Tell. I Have a Story, the number 2, TEL. You can catch me on Instagram. That's Marcus Jones Story. I have a website, that's www.marcusjonesstory.com. Facebook, of course, LinkedIn, you know, I'm on all social websites. You know, that's how you can reach.
Okay, very good. Well, I just want to say to you, my friend, good to see you. Continue on the journey that you are on. I appreciate you sharing your past in order to help our future. And you have never given up. Every time I look around, here you are on TV, here you are, and I always welcome you back to this microphone because I need to talk to more black men like you. I really do. I need to talk to more of my brothers that have been through it and have great testimonies to share of how they got through that fire. And I'm just very proud of you as a person.
Thank you.
I just wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right.